All right. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here on the Super Creators Podcast. I am your host, Super Manny, and this is episode 3. And I have an amazing creative here to introduce to you guys. I'll give you a little bit of a bio and backstory. So first, his name is Sixto Gaspar, known as Sixto the Artist. He's 23, born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey. Shout out to all my New Jersey people out there. His basic interests are arts, of course, photography, and anything that allows freedom into someone's life. And his vision when it comes to creativity is a world of creators to be fearless, true, and passionate to their craft so they can change their world with a little bit of insanity, belief, and love. So for you guys, Sixto is here with us. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How's it going? It's me, Six. As you already know. Pleasure being here. Pleasure being you, Manny.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, man.
So real quick side story. So even though me and Six are both from New Jersey, literally 10 minutes away, we've never met.
We've never met. And it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny because actually this happened also with Elvis for a bit. So he was always like the ghost of Clifton because we would always see that he's around, but nobody ever saw him in person until we finally met. And then after that, then you became that ghost. And we're like, yo, has anybody ever met Six? And they're like, nah. And then one day he met you outside of the art factory. And I was like,
oh yeah, that's right. I was right there sitting in front of it.
Yeah. So it was funny. So you were like, we knew you existed, you were there, but nobody actually saw you in person.
And that's the thing about me. I try to keep myself down low. Try to be what's that called? Incognito, I think it is.
Yeah. Low profile, incognito.
Mm-hmm. Incognito. I try to be, in the shadows. Like I'm trying not to expose myself too much. Let them people figure out who is this guy, who is this artist, And that was mainly like my main thing. Like the next thing you'll see me, I've done something totally brand new that no one expected.
Yep.
And that's how I will keep myself up.
And that's the exact reason why I wanted you to podcast, because taking out the shadow.
Yeah, this is what who you are. Exactly.
Right. So then real quick, so from what I know of, I first knew you as a photographer, but I do know that you dabble into arts. I've seen you do art that deals a lot with Mexican culture, with las calaveras and things like that.
Yes.
So I guess give us a little bit of a background, like how did you start getting into the art world? When did Sixto the Artist, when was he born? When did you start? And yeah, just tell us how you started in the arts.
Yeah, I guess it started back when I was around 6-7 years old. I started drawing. The first drawing I ever did was Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
We had to from Goku Dragon Ball Z, and I remember like it was yesterday. I remember sitting in my sofa, looking at this image that I printed out of Goku, like he was going Super Saiyan, and I drew him in line paper, black and white, a little bit of color. And when I was finished with it, I'm like, yo, I can draw. I showed it to my dad. My dad was surprised and all. And I'm like, whoa, Junior, you can draw. I'm like, I know, right? And that's where it started. I started to progress on Goku. I started to then learning more about my heritage, Mexican art, Mexican culture. And that's when I started to go into more of like the religious side, drawing crucifix, a little bit of rose in it, the Virgencita de Guadalupe and all that stuff. And so I remember one time, I think it was in 4th or 5th grade, someone has told me he's always drawing the same thing, crucifix, hearts, rose. And I'm thinking, all right, I need to expand more. And that's when I had gone to a store one day and saw this magazine called Lowrider Artes.
Okay.
And when I first picked it up, I opened it and I started to see a whole different world of Mexican arts. I'm like, wow. And that's when I started to get into like lowriders, calaveras, Day of the Dead, everything. And that's how I started to evolve in my arts. And as I was getting involved in it, I started to fall more and more in love with just the Aztec and the West Coast, all the LA and stuff like that. It was really, really, really eye-opening for me, really creative for me. It opened up my mind. It opened up new ways that I can draw, ways that I never knew I can draw. And yeah, and from there, I just started drawing ever since 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, like I said.
That's dope. It's good because you
Mm-hmm.
found it early. Like me on my side of the family, I'm the one who can't draw. My brother actually is amazing, like with art, line art, digital art, paintbrush, airbrush, like paper mache. He's
Oh
like
man,
he's
that's
he's
what's
on
up.
that level. Yeah, he's made things. There's actually one mural in Clifton by, what is that? I think it's Route 19 by like the high school. And there's like there's a
Mm-hmm.
wall, there's a whole wall mural, and it shows like the Twin Towers when it fell, and it
Oh
leads
wow,
into like the universe, whatever. And he actually drew that while he was attending Clifton High. So
really?
he's more of the artist. I'm like, I got lucky because of, digital and electronics.
Uh,
They helped me out.
there's nothing wrong with digital though, man. Digital
Yeah.
is a new thing.
But the original, like regular type of art and drawing, that thing is fascinating. And actually, one
It
thing
is.
that I realized, like when I see your work, is basically that, like the Mexican culture and influence. And I know it's hugely influenced with, like you mentioned, like with religion, La Virgen de Guadalupe, and
Yes.
things like that. And but that culture is so rich, and I love it. I always tell people, like a lot of people, if they don't know that I'm Dominican, I usually tell them I'm Mexican, or they think I am. I'm trying to be like adopted into the culture.
Adopted. It's like me when they call me Peruvian, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm Peruvian. I'm Peruvian. ¿Qué
you
onda,
can
pe?
pass off with that.
Yeah, I'll be like, what's up, pe? Because you know how
Exactly. Yeah,
they be saying the pe
mm-hmm.
all the time. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so going to use that now.
That's funny. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
so besides, so I know, so we got into the art. You started 6 or 7, and then when did you pick up photography, or how did that start?
Photography. Now, I originally picked up photography, I want to say about 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
And it first came to interest when I first entered and met up with O and Les from Black Flag. Shout out to them. I'm
Okay.
not
Black
sure
flag.
if you're familiar from
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yep.
Yeah. They were the ones that Omar was actually the one to inspire me to pick up a camera when he first showed me his camera with a 50 millimeter. I forgot what body he had, but when I first hold it in my hand and started taking a few pictures, I'm like, whoa! Now
This is dope.
this is a different feeling. This is a different feeling right here. And ever since then, since that day, I try to focus on getting myself a camera. I first started off with my phone. I think everyone started off with their
Yep.
phone, and well, I started taking pictures of being standing in the middle of the streets, or taking pictures of the skies, of the clouds, and then from there, I think it was in college. Yes, in college. Second semester, I had to take a photography class, and that's when I had to get myself a camera. And I'm like, oh, great.
You like had to. You were
I
forced.
had to. So I'm like, I'm not ready to buy a camera, but you know what? I got to start somewhere else. So I got myself a.
So a quick shout out from our sponsors, Snickers, always holding it down, keeping me alive. I told myself my goal for 2019 is I have to get some type of Snicker sponsorship.
Sponsor.
Yeah, as long as
Man, I
even if it's
believe
just
it.
just free candy, and I'm good. So I'm shooting
I,
for it.
I believe it, man. I believe in you. You got it. You definitely got it.
For sure. I gotta see how I have finagle that one.
Nah, man,
But
just post contacts with Snickers.
yeah, that's basically what's gonna happen. So going back to the story, then you were saying, so you got your camera because of the college course,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So what was that? Well, how did
That
that?
was when I first got my own personal camera. I remember I had a T3i. Yeah, T3i. Started off with T3i, and it just skyrocketed from there. Started
Basically.
started learning how to do abstracts, uh, black and white, cityscapes, going to New York a lot.
Yep.
And my main thing was doing portraits because that was one of the material courses in photography that you had to learn. And
Okay.
when I got into portraits, I was just boom right there. That's my favorite thing to do, portraits.
That's dope.
And that's it, man. I just started going from there.
That's dope. So real quick, because I'm trying to, like, with this podcast, I'm also trying to like educate all the people who are like listening, and not educate because I know everything, but kind of like even like you said, you started with a T3i. Well, you started with your cell phone, and then you got like a Canon T3i. And honestly, I've seen, like, when I started, I had a Samsung Galaxy S2. An S2. I'm like, we're going like back, but I still have those photo files, and those are some of my favorite pictures. They're super crisp, colorful, like everything's there. And when I look at it, and I'm just like, what, the only thing that saves this is that knowing how to take a photo, understanding light, composition, like little things, it's because it's not the quality of the camera. It was maybe like 8 megapixels at that.
Yeah.
But the basics of like, angles, composition, and I felt like it really was able to help. So even like that, like for people who are maybe listening, don't have a camera, like iPhones are killing it, cell phones are killing it, the Samsung Note, all of those, like, but the basics will never change. Like, understand light, understand shadows, understand color, like all those little things. So anyone out there, if you want to take pictures, just grab something and just start.
Something with a camera, just start right away.
That's dope. So then, so you said, so you lent more into portrait photography. So what sold you more on the portrait side than the landscape or the cityscape side?
I guess with the portraits, you get more within the subject. You get more involved with them, you interact with them, and that gives you that freedom to practice with your shyness, public speaking, anything that might have been like insecurity towards you. And that really allowed me to be more open-minded with myself, listen to others, listen to what their ideas have, what ideas they have, and adapt from that.
Definitely.
And it's always a great pleasure to meet new people. What other way can you go out there?
Definitely.
And that's just the way that I think everyone should experience. And it's truly eye-opening, mind-opening.
I get that. No, and it's a good thing that you mentioned it, because with portrait photography, you have to connect with your subject. You have to know who they are. You have to know their style. Like,
make them feel comfortable. What are they looking for? What are you looking for? And just most of all, have fun.
Yeah. So what's your normal, I guess, process or flow when it goes into portrait photography? Do you usually, talk to the model beforehand? Do you guys make like some type of concept, or what's your usual flow?
I usually try to get comfortable with the subject. I try to get personal with them. Some people might not like that, but I try to get mostly personal with them just to see what connectivity, what connection we have. And then from there, I roll into the concept.
Okay.
And like I said, for me, most important is just really connecting with your subject. Whether if it's in a deep level or not.
For sure. Yeah, because I think that's the most awkward. I've had to do some type of portraits, and they're like, I have no idea who the person is, or they don't talk, and it's just like, I'm gonna just take your picture and
bounce
and deal with it. Yeah, like
take a picture and bounce. I'm like, nah, I'm not like that. If it goes like that, I would on the spot cancel it.
Yeah, because it's not gonna come out. You're not gonna feel it.
It's not coming from me or the subject. I'm not feeling it. She's not feeling it, or he's not feeling it. It's not working out.
So just to bounce off of that. So then, is it important in art and photography and everything to actually have passion and connection to what you're doing, or is it just something that we do just to, to make some ends?
No, it's something that you have to be passionate about. Something that you yourself have to feel. If it's not feeling right, don't do it. But if it's truly feeling amazing, and you know that feeling is something that you live for, by all means, not do it.
For sure. I get that. And I think a lot of people need to hear that, because you can see it. You can see it in people's work. There's recently there's this photographer, videographer here up in Puerto Rico that I was able to meet in person, but every time I see his work, I'm just like, you can see he just loves creating. And you'll see him go from photography, videography. He'll start playing the piano. He'll start playing the guitar. He'll just join in like music festivals just to like be there. Like, you can tell how much he loves the arts, and it portrays in everything that he does. Even the other day I saw him like doing like digital, um, digital
Design.
art of his portraits. And I'm just like, this guy he just likes to create, but you can see like the passion, and it's like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see other people who just like, are trying to make just like a quick buck, or trying to just follow the fad. And it's just like, it's not it.
At the same time, there is nothing wrong with that if you're trying to make a quick few bucks here and there. But if you really, really want to get into it, you just gotta know if that feeling's right with you.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie. There is a few times that I had to make like ends meet, where
You gotta
I
do
need
it.
to I gotta do what I gotta do to get myself up there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you do it consistently and ignoring your feelings and all that stuff, then that's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
That's not gonna fly by.
Yeah, because also for you and the client. I mean, the client's also gonna feel it. I've had projects that I had to do where I started and I'm just like, I don't want to do this, but I had to do it. And in the end, it was like a process and like re-edits and like all this other stuff. And it just didn't work out, So I'm just like, why am I going to stress myself out? Why am I going to stress the client out? Like, if we can meet and everybody's happy, then it's like, all right, let's get it done. But if not, it's like, rather not. Because you don't want to stress out also, because then that makes you lose.
No, you don't want to
the
stress
passion.
out. You don't want to drain yourself.
Yeah. There you go. So going off of that, then what do you do, or what tips do you have to keep your creativity flowing, to not have that creator's block, or to not lose that passion? Like, what do you bounce from different types of art mediums, or how does that look?
Well, for me, I usually try to bounce off from different media, but there are times where when I'm not feeling it, I'll leave the medias to a side for a while, and then I'll just go on to my little adventure, being by myself, go outside for a nature walk or anything. And eventually it'll hit me again. I'm like, all right, I got it. I'm gonna go back to this now. And I'll be honest, I have this artwork that I started about the beginning of this month, February.
Okay.
And I remember a week in, I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. What am I doing here? I'm not feeling this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. And I put it to a side until today. I haven't went back into it. It's all about the timing, I guess. Yeah, it's all about the timing. Because
Yeah.
once you feel that, and you know for sure when you're gonna come back and you're gonna destroy it, boom, right there. That's when the magic happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, explain a little bit, maybe even about. I know you just finished the painting of La Virgen de Guadalupe that you started a year ago.
No,
And
I
you
actually
finished
started that one.
right, and you finished a year later.
Yeah, I actually started that drawing. Believe it or not, 3 years ago. Not 1, 3 years ago.
Jeez.
It was 3 years ago. It was because I was like in my lowest time, and I was like stressing out because I needed money, I needed a job, and I remember asking La Virgencita for help. And the promise was, if the promise was, if a job was given to me in order to pay off the debt that I was in, I promised her that I would draw her.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, when I did that prayer, a week later, I got the job and started paying off all my debt. And that's when I remember, oh, now it's time to draw it.
I gotta draw it.
I gotta draw it. And then as I was drawing it, I remember I was just like, oh man, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to disrespect it because it's la Virgen de
Mm-hmm.
Guadalupe. But at the same time, I just wasn't feeling it. So I just pushed it away for a while, for 3 years. And then just last year, back in December, I was able to finish it.
Yep.
Because I had gone within those 3 years, I had gone through a journey of getting a job, paying up the debt, and just bouncing back and forth from it, you know?
But
And when
that's
I finally felt it, that's when I finished it.
yeah, that's dope. I remember seeing it, and I remember when you had first like re-mentioned it, and this was like months ago, you know. And I saw it, and then in December when you hit us up with the okay, it's finished, I was like, oh snap! I remember seeing that in
Yeah.
like February or something. But that's definitely dope. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check them out on Instagram, right at Sixto, the
Yeah.
artist. I'll
Yes, there's a
put it
at
here.
underscore 630 artist.
There you go. But yeah, definitely check it out. And yeah, that was the one like when I saw that, was like I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah,
you can see.
and the drawing itself actually had went through many phases. The like the background, for example, I
Mhm.
remember I had so much detail on it that when I went and came back to it last year, back in November, I decided to take it out and just paint it over it.
I didn't
Yeah, and
know
it would have
that.
been totally, yeah, it would have totally been different if I never had painted over it.
That's dope. That's dope. No, but that's good to see that because you can feel like that there's a story to it.
Mm.
Like it's in the
So it was a process. It was a long process.
yeah, that's dope. So then right now, so what projects are you currently working on or looking forward to work on in the next few months or
The next few months, I happen to believe that I will be back to this one joint that I started, like I mentioned, back in February, and till today I haven't came back to it. But I'm still trying to find that feeling. I'm still
Mhm.
trying to, cause right now I'm just out here in the library
Out here?
trying to
That's it.
just trying to like zone out, you know. And yeah, that's one project going back to the drawing. It's gonna be a Mexican clown, a sad clown. And it's gonna
Hmm.
have scripture saying love is a losing game.
Okay.
When you guys see it, I'm sure you guys are gonna love it. I'm
Yeah,
sure you
yeah,
guys are gonna love it.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's gonna be in black and white. And after that, uh, hmm, I have don't have any other ideas. Usually, my ideas comes when I'm like meditating or when I come across a new adventure, and from there I'll write myself a little note saying, "Oh wait, this would be a cool idea to do as a portrait or as a drawing," and I'll save it on my little book. And when the time is right, when I feel it's right to do one of the projects that I have, I'll tackle them.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, and you definitely have a very it's not methodical. You have a very I'm gonna say a classical approach when it comes to like your art and your artwork because you really immerse in like the idea, the
Mm-hmm.
feeling, the timing, getting it all through. Whereas
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in my point, I'm usually more like I kind of force myself and then I get
Mm-hmm.
into like the creative mode. Like I'm just like, all right, I gotta create something and then it's gonna come and I'm gonna like flow with it. But like if I wait for like creativity to hit me, like it doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. I'll sit there for days not doing anything. So
Hey man, other people are different. Like I
yeah.
said, some people it takes time. Some people, they like to force themselves, like you mentioned. Everyone's approach is different.
Yeah. No, but that's dope. That's what I like because it's very like you can see like the process of like thought, mind, heart, soul,
Yeah,
and then it transcends into the artwork.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Actually, this year I'm actually doing it like double.
Okay.
like taking it a little bit longer than usual. Back like 2 years ago, I was always like, oh man, I gotta create, I gotta create, I gotta create. But that was because I wasn't thinking with my heart, I was thinking with my mind.
So
Now it's the
just
other
to post
way.
on the gram. Just to
Just
post.
post on the ground, but now it's the other way. I'm like, hold up, hold up, hold up. I gotta listen to my heart now. What feels right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when the process begins.
All right. And do you have any? So I guess, do you have any goal when it comes to your artwork? Like, is there any place that you want to see like your artwork as an entry, or is there any like type of collabs that you want to make, or like what would
Never,
be like your ideal like? Oh, I did it! Like,
I, to be honest, every day I feel like I did it. You know, every day I feel like I did it because it's my work. You know,
yeah.
I really don't. I don't want to say care, but I'm not sure any other way to say it. But like the idea of my artwork just hanging somewhere in the museum or just for the whole world to see it, it's like it's just cool. It's cool. It doesn't really give me that I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for me to do that I did it was as if I actually met like some famous people, you know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, all that all that for the world to see, it's already made up on Instagram.
Yep.
It's in social media and stuff. And there is one thing that did got me that good feeling was when back in my junior year in high school. This was like 2011, 2012, I believe, was when I actually won first place at the New Jersey Nets. This one when the New York Nets were in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this was
This
this
is
was
way
not
back.
way back. This is way back, and I won first place out of 50 other high schools. Won first place of a Black History Month drawing. I did a portrait of a train tractor guy
Okay.
with buildings around him, and underneath it was banner and a train coming out.
Oh snap.
And that drawing that I did made me won first place, and I was able to meet with a few basketball players. Got to take pictures with them. Got an autograph ball and season tickets to all of their games.
Even season tickets, and that's that at that time to be in the New Jersey Nets. That was like hometown pride. You know what I mean?
that
We don't
was
have too
really
many
on.
teams.
We don't. But yeah, that was back then, and then later on, this was going into 2013, 2014. I had just graduated from high school. I submitted 3 of my artworks to Lowrider Art Fair magazine.
Okay.
Came December, I went to the store to pick up the newest issue. I scrolled to the book, and right there,
It was there.
I think it was like
Bam.
it was a section. I won. I don't know what place I won, but I won, and it was the whole 2 page of the magazine. My artwork right there it says winner Sixto Gaspar Paterson jersey.
That's
So I'm
dope.
like, oh, now this. Then when I hit that, I'm like, oh yes, I made it. That was
That's what's up.
my 2 I made it stories right there.
Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
that's dope because Lowrider Art Day, that's the magazine that pretty much started it, right? That opened your mind
Mm-hmm.
to other forms of art.
Yeah. When I first got featured, I'm like, yes, I made it.
That's dope. That's
Mm-hmm.
dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I know that feeling because a lot of times as creators and artists of any form, like it's not that we look for validation, but like in our own sense, we kind of always feel like we're not enough. You know what I mean? Like even though
Mm-hmm.
our art, and like you said, like you feel like you made it every day because you do your artwork for you, and that's really what it should be. But sometimes we're just
Mm-hmm.
like, is my photography good? Is my art good? Do I draw you know. So just little things like that, like little wins like that, it kind of just gives us that self like, okay, I can make it. I can make it. I can do this. Like, it's possible.
Exactly. And if you feel like, you got knocked down that day, get back up, man. Tomorrow's a brand new day to start all
That's
over.
it. No choice. You got no choice. You're gonna be doing that moping
If
around.
you stay down, man, if you stay down forever, man, you're losing.
For sure.
You don't want that.
That's what's up. So then, do you like, do you have any like favorite artists that you draw inspiration from, or anybody that you like really feel is like just killing it in their own way?
Hmm. I only have like this one photographer. Her name is Vivian Meyer. She was like in the I believe the early 50s through the 70s. She was actually not known until her death.
Oh wow.
Like years later after her death. And her style of photography was always street photography, black and white in New York. And when I first discovered her, I'm like, whoa, this is something like I like to do. And her style is getting up close, personal to the subject in the streets. I'm like, that's risky. That's what I like.
Yeah, that's
That's risky. And that's what I like, and that's what I enjoy doing. There's a few pictures in my Instagram that when I think of her, I feel like I captured that same niche that she had when getting up close to the subject, and yeah, that she was one of my inspirational when I was going into the photography world. Artist wise, not so much really, because everyone was like kind of the same. So I just try to make myself be my own fan.
There you go.
Try to see like, all right, I did this art, but how can I do it better now? And that's how I just try to evolve.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got to check her out. You said Vivian Myers.
Yes, Vivian Myers. There's actually a documentary on her on Netflix. You should watch it. It's really good.
I'm definitely gonna do that like ASAP. Because and it's funny that you mentioned, because I want to draw more inspiration from photographers before the digital age. And there's a few that I would follow. I mean, mostly like from like National Geographic photographers that would get those like in-depth portraits, and like get those like really landscapes that like tell the story. So they always inspired me a lot more than all these IG people. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you have to look back in their elders, man. Those were the ones that, to me, I think they put the platform way before we even had this platform. They put this platform that even till today it still works. They were the OGs of doing the whole thing, and we till today we all follow that.
For sure. Yeah, because it's an art form. There are rules, and those rules are followed. They are broken, but in its essence, like a good photo is a good photo. Like you and it's funny because the mind and the eye, like you just know. Like you can't explain why a photo is good, but when you see a photo, you're just like, that is perfect. You're just like,
you're feeling it, because you like when you capture that one picture and you just amaze yourself, you go and post that picture.
Yeah. No, and the best part is that you can't make it up. You can't recreate that.
You
can never. Like those moments when it's just like the shadows are just where they need to be, the highlights are where they need to be, the subject is like where they need to be, like, and you're just like, wow, like I really just witnessed that and I was able to capture that, But when like you look away and you're just like, wait, that's not the same thing that I'm seeing, like.
No, but sometimes if you're doing what I'm doing, usually what I do is I take over the hip shots. I don't know if you understand that. Over the hip.
Like hip level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you just put your camera down.
Yeah, you put your camera down.
You just take away. Usually those are the best ones for me as well. Because I just hit the
Fired
shutter
off.
speed, boom, 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 and hope that I just capture one when I go into the editing process.
Yeah, even like you mentioned about like street photography,
Mm-hmm.
and getting up close. Like one thing that I started doing, it was hilarious. I shouldn't do it, but and I used to drive far to work. So I used to drive from like I don't know, like Clifton, Paterson area to like Fairfield, sometimes up to like Morristown or whatever. And I would be driving, and I got my camera in hand, and I would literally like when I see something, I'm just like, let me catch this person driving. Like I want to do a whole like just to get like the profile shot, and sometimes like I've gotten some dope motorcycle shots, some dope sport car shots, some people like legit like full profile like driving, and I would just that would keep me entertained the whole drive. You know, I would just be like to see like what I capture, and I would get some dope shots. You know, and the same thing
Oh man.
like in New York, if somebody else is driving, or I'll be like on the usually not on the bus because they have the tinted, but like if someone else is driving, I'll like stop at the red light and I'll see like people just walking by, and I'll just capture some, you know, and you'll get them like in between like poles and like little things. So like it's like these
Shiny
little
and stuff.
moments. Yeah. But it's like when I see like photos that come out like that, those I automatically post like without question, because I'm like, I can't recreate that moment.
You can't.
Like it was a split second moment of where I was, where they were, where all that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like, even for me, the type of photography that like lifts me up, you know, like even talking about it, like I'm all excited. I'm just like, I'm remembering like all the photos, you know, because it's things that
Right, right.
you can't time, you can't recreate. It's just like you
Just
were there, you took the shot, and like everything
boom.
fell. That's dope. I'm gonna try the hit method. I mean, I've done it a few
Yeah, yeah.
times when I'm like trying to catch somebody, but you
Mm.
kind of like, you know,
Or
shoot backwards.
if you want, you can like put it underneath your chin. You can put it
Mm.
underneath your chin. Yeah, that was another technique I used to do as well when I was like walking in the city, in the streets of New York and stuff. Uh, I remember capturing these couple. I think they were looked like they were fighting, but they were actually about to give each other a kiss and stuff.
Mm.
And I remember capturing it was I was amazed by it at the first take, and I don't even think I posted it. I kept that for myself.
Just have it, yeah.
I just one of those habits that I'm sure I'm probably not the only one, but you capture that moment, you were just like, nah, this is for me. I'm
Yep,
gonna leave it for me, you know.
I definitely have. I have a
And
bunch of those.
yeah, man. And I don't know if you also have those moments where even before capturing the moment, you're witnessing that moment, you're just like amazed by it and just don't
Yep.
want to even capture it,
No.
you
So
know.
the other day, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I saw a post and it was saying that if the eye were a photographic camera, it would actually be like 564 megapixels.
Oh
So
yeah, I seen that.
so it's like the best view you're gonna get of anything is always from your eyes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so even like so, you know, and I told the people, because we were going to like a rainforest trip, and I was just telling them, I was like, yo, guys, don't worry about, like, that's why I'm here. I'm the videographer. Like, you guys put your phones down, enjoy the moment, like take it in. But even myself, like I would capture, like I would see something and I'm just like, this is beautiful, this is amazing. And then like after I took it in, then I'm like, all right, let me get that B-roll. You know? But yeah, I
Nah, man, I
definitely know what you
totally
mean.
understand that, man. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So then I had one last question. Oh, so one of the questions I'm asking a lot of, you know, everybody who I interview is, so how do you feel about creativity now in the digital age with like Instagram and all those things? And because
Oh man.
I've had some like, I'm like in between. I'm usually not. I'm like the middle ground on like almost everything. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like super artsy, and I'm not like super against like what everybody's doing, but
Right, right.
I do still see the, you know, everybody's kind of like biting off each other's style. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
neon shots are in, or fruit shots are in, or, you know, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, so like, how do you
How
feel
can you
like,
be how can you
yeah,
be like different?
or how do you feel that that has affected, you know, creativity? Like, do you feel like people are just jumping on the wave, or is there still like
Mm,
originality?
well, I sometimes feel like people are just jumping in the wave, and I won't lie, I am one of them as well. But the way I try to do it is try to do like more hands-on type of thing. Because for me, when I'm editing, the only software I use is Lightroom. Nothing else, just Lightroom. Everything
Okay.
else is either done in my camera or hands-on stuff with, like I said, natural lighting.
Yep.
Natural lighting is one thing that I love to use. No, I don't like using LED, no flash, no nothing, just natural lighting. And yeah, I just try to do, if I want to mimic something, I have to figure out a way to use household items or just with my own hands, really. All that digital stuff, I'm not really into it because, again, I only have limited things that I work off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I'm okay with,
Yeah, so
you know.
you keep it super
So like
homemade, home based. Very
exactly,
ground so to speak.
and I feel like that's more originality than having to take a picture from like Google, bring it into Photoshop, putting it into, your own style and stuff like that. Me, I like to, the traveling, the natural lighting, the home supplies that you have or that you can build, and that from there, that's as original as you can get.
Yeah, no, and definitely because that is difficult to recreate when it's
Mm-hmm.
original, when it's like in the moment, when it's on the spot. It's very difficult to recreate. And like you said, that's the best way to stay original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only way to stay original, Well, to me, in my opinion, you
Yeah.
know. And yeah, all that digital thing. I mean, it's cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is cool. It is amazing how people have now figured out how to like add lights, like a neon light and all that stuff, without having to actually
Be there.
have the be there, have the neon light in their hands, or like putting a different background and stuff. Me, I just like to use whatever's around me.
Yeah.
You know,
Keep it as
it's simple, as original, organic as possible.
yeah, I was one of the last people that I was interviewing, Jem. That's also from the New Jersey area. So he's also like, I told him, like, I look up to him, his style a lot because he's very technical. So he goes into everything really just focused on like what's there, what's being seen, what's in the background, who's in the foreground, who's the person. So he'll break everything down before he takes one shot. And I used to like get on him for that. I'm just like, bro, just take the shot. Just take it. Take one at least. Like, let me hear a click, But he'll wait till everything's right. He'll see what I'm wearing, what's in the background, the colors, and then when he goes into his editing, it's literally just to recreate whatever he saw that day. It's not to change the colors. It's not to like give a different look. It's just to what he saw that day. He wants to make sure that it's there, and it's dope because it's a different workflow. It's a different workflow. It's a different process. And like, when I see that, I'm just like, he knows what he's going for, and it shows. It shows in all his like his shots, and he posts like very few, but when he does, he like owns it. He's like, yes, this is what I saw. This is what I want. This is what I'm putting out there.
Yeah,
So
that's dope.
yeah,
That's really dope.
that's definitely the way. I think it's dope that type of photography, because some people see it completely different. I know some photographers that like will see a scene and in their head they're picturing something completely different, and they already know which background, what overlay, what other artificial light source is going to be there, but they recreate it, and it's like, I can't knock that. That's his workflow. Like he made it up in his head, and the fact that he was able to vision that and then actually like show it, just like props to you, because I've tried, like, my Photoshop skills are very it's like,
mine's too,
as much as like what I want to do, I can do, but when I see other people's work, and I'm just like, I can't recreate that. I don't know. I don't even know how they started, So it's I definitely don't knock that artwork. It's dope. It's not me though.
Kind of broke up there for a minute.
Did I? All right. Am I back? I should be back.
Yeah, you're back.
All right. Back. Yeah. The internet here is not the best. So, but it's working.
You got some great ass weather
on
over
the
there.
island.
You got that great ass weather over there.
Yeah,
You want
bro.
to swap?
No, no, but then you can't wear your beanie over here. You're gonna lose
Oh,
your
you're
style,
right.
your flow.
Oh man, yeah, that's the thing. The beanie's always the style
That's
now. I
that's
got
that's
that.
that's you. If we don't see you
That's
without
me.
that, we don't know who that is.
And it's funny too because I forgot when it was. I think it was in an event. Someone was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Me, Six." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, hold on. And I put the beanie back on. And I'm like, "Oh, it is you."
It
I'm
is
like,
you.
"Yeah, it's me." 'Cause, even on my profile picture, I have a beanie on.
Yeah, you have to. It's like
Mhm.
you ever seen Dexter's Lab? When he opens up his closet, it's just the same
Oh yeah,
clothes. Like he
same
doesn't
clothes.
change.
Man, I remember someone telling me I'm like the new Steve Jobs, but without his ugly attitude and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Because I'm always like wearing like the same thing over and over again, like the same khaki pants, the same shoes or something like
That's
that. But
style. You're
yeah,
comfortable
it's
with it.
just my style. I'm like, and everyone knows me, but like that as well.
That's like me. I literally have like 3 shirts that I alternate and 2 jeans.
Yeah,
And like that's it. Like you can't get me out of
yeah, it's
those.
like two pants that I alter
That's
and
it.
stuff, and that's it. Like nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else is comfortable. You gotta stay
Mm. I just, these are the clothes that I'm comfortable with. These are me. This is my style.
for sure, for sure. So real quick before we wrap it up, we're hitting like the 1 hour mark. So
Oh, are
you,
we?
yeah, it's crazy, right? It's ridiculous, but it's amazing. That's good. That means it was a good combo. Um,
Mhm.
so you as in the creative space as an artist, so what would be either your best advice or maybe even something that you would like to see more of in the
Mhm.
art world? I know like something that you mentioned, like, in the bio, like maybe can you expand a little bit more on that, on like
Mhm.
how you want art to be
Yeah.
seen in the
Just
future?
I would just for me as a creator as well, I would just love to see every other creator just to be free, passionate, to feel true love to what they create, because what they create is the thing that's gonna change the world. You know,
For
it's
sure.
gonna change what other people see. It's gonna change some kids are gonna see that and they're gonna think, "Wow, that's amazing! I am totally gonna recreate that or something, or in their own way." I would just love to see the creators to truly be passionate, to love their work, and to not be afraid to post what they create.
For
You know,
sure. So just break
just
out break out the norm and do it from the heart.
mhm, exactly, do it from the heart.
That's what's up.
That's it.
That's something I resonate with, because um even in my like workflow now, like I've kind of started in photography, went into videography, and now it's more kind
Mhm,
of like documentary / event style. And it's like I have to sometimes break away from that to just like do
mhm,
my own thing, just to refresh my creativity. And I'm like,
mhm.
okay, this is
Yeah.
work, this is me, and
Mhm.
I try to keep that balance, but that's what keeps me sane.
Balance. Definitely,
So
man.
you guys heard it. Put your heart and passion into it, love what you do, and show who you are.
Enjoy
Like,
life.
I
Hmm.
honestly, the artist is shows who they are through their artwork, because it's
Definitely.
it's
It's
something
your
that takes.
freedom.
Yep,
It's your freedom. No one can take that.
that's what's up. So don't lose your freedom. If you start creating stuff that you don't like because other people like it, you lose your freedom. You become a slave, which is true. It's true.
It
You
is.
start
It's
creating
true.
stuff just because other people are gonna like it. But I think, and honestly, when you look at it, the most, I'm gonna say, I don't want to say celebrated. That's kind of like not the word I'm looking for, but kind of more of the truly influential artists are the ones who just created what they wanted, and then people were able to resonate with that person, with that artist as who he is, and then love the artwork.
Mm.
Which I think is another thing. It's kind of like um, even the purpose of this podcast. Like, I really want
Yeah.
people to know Sixto, the artist, like Sixto, who you are, and then as they know who you are, automatically your artwork is just going to be so much more appealing to them, because now there's a person attached to the artwork, and it's not like, I don't want people to recognize us for our pixels. I'm not a pixel,
Right.
you're not a drawing on a
I'm
paper.
I'm a human being.
Exactly. So I feel like our story is the most important part of our artwork, because it's where it comes from. Like even how you mentioned when you did the drawing, right? The La Virgen de Guadalupe, like there was a story behind, there was a reason why you did that art. And like I saw it before, but now when I re-see it, I'm gonna see the story and it's gonna hit me so much more. So that's the point. Like there's people behind the work.
The story behind the work.
For sure. Dope, brother. So
when you hear that story, it just gives you a new venture.
Yeah, no, and that, I mean, really that's what people have to like remember, is like we have to connect with people. We have to connect with people again. It has to be like people. And that's like most of the people that I follow, like even on social media and things like that. And it's not because their work is the best, but it's because I know who that person is. I know their story. I know some type of struggle. I know where their artwork comes from. So even if it's like a little doodle, I'm just like, yo, I know why he doodled that. So I can legit like just like it and talk about it and comment on it, because there was that story behind it. So that's dope.
On purpose.
Yep. So this is the first kind of sneak peek that people are getting into the life of Sixto. Life of Six.
Give me another podcast in the next 10 years and you'll know more about me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, but I'm excited. And honestly, I want people after this to, to also like, follow your work, check it out, and actually connect with you as a person. That's what we're trying to do, especially in New Jersey. New Jersey people, y'all got to get out of your bubble situation, your headspace, whatever that is. But like New Jersey, we got to like come together, start sharing that love, start like, because I don't know, man. There's no reason for there to be any like hate or malice or anything else. If we're all trying to create, we should just like collab, and that's when the best work comes out. Like,
definitely.
So that's what I'm trying to do. Unite all the New Jerseyans.
Creators.
Sure. Yeah, the New Jersey creators. Yeah. You ain't got to go to New York to capture dope stuff. There's a lot of dope stuff here in New Jersey.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna say they're in New Jersey because I'm here, but they're New Jersey.
But nah, man, there are a lot of great places here in Jersey, and that's actually one of the new ventures I'm trying to do now. Is usually when I go shooting, I like to go mostly in New York, but now I guess this would be considered as a new project. It's just the next photo shoots I want to create has to be in Jersey.
Definitely.
Nowhere else. Has to be in Jersey because hey, it's my hometown. Paterson, my hometown.
No, and Jersey's big. We have everything. We have everything from city to graffiti to farms, animals, redwoods. Beaches. Like New Jersey has like literally everything. I mean, you have to drive a bit, but
hey, that's the fun part, man.
Everything's there.
The exploration.
Yeah, no. But yeah, there's a lot of South Jersey photographers that I follow on the gram, and when I see their work, I'm just like, that's also New Jersey. Like I've never been to that part, but for them it's like it's
right next door.
Right next to them. So that's dope. I'm definitely looking forward to that, to see more shots of New Jersey, because it needs more exposure. Like the East Coast is not New York. There's Jersey, Philly. Other states.
Yeah, man.
Dope, brother.
Definitely.
So real quick then, if people do want to follow your work or connect with you, where's the best spot to do it?
Best spot to be would be Instagram @_Sixto the artist. You have my phone number, my email there. If you guys want to reach out to me, you can.
Dope. And they definitely will. I know for sure we're gonna have some future collabs and things going on.
Almost definitely. They're always welcome.
That's what's up. Also, so I let everybody know that's on my podcast, that this is kind of like part 1, which is the audio. Part 2 is a personal meetup, where kind of like a day in the life, where I will be following you in your workflow, and we're gonna take a project from start to finish, and that's gonna be like so that's gonna, I guess, like be the connection of what we're saying, and then they get to see it live. So when I'm in Jersey, I'm definitely gonna hit you up.
Yeah, man,
that
definitely.
because that's the part I'm really excited about. This is like the first introduction, but I really want to show people the artists doing the work. I think that'll be dope.
Yeah, that'll be that'll be fire, man.
That's soon. I don't know when, but I'm hoping like within this month or next month.
Take your time.
I'm waiting for the snow. I'm waiting for the snow to go.
Give it a month.
For sure. I'm just trying to wait. So, but yeah, no, definitely I'm gonna be there, and then we're gonna collab on that. So
definitely be looking forward for that, man.
Dope. So you guys heard it here from Sixto the Artist. Follow him on Instagram. Check out his work. If you're from New Jersey, hit him up for a collab, whether you're a model, artist, photographer, whatever. There's ways you guys can create together. All right. So this will be the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for checking out Super Creator Podcast. And remember, each and every one of you are super creators. You just have to find your superpower. And until next time, take it easy.